A woman by nature is blessed with a profound role that gives meaning to the very foundation of a male-dominated society. Her existence brings balance, tenderness, and life to the structure of the home. She is the heart that beats within the family, the one who gives birth, nurtures with care, and teaches love through her patience and sacrifice. It is her compassion and emotional intelligence that make her the foundation upon which noble families and civilized societies stand. Without her gentleness, a home becomes hollow. Without her wisdom, it loses direction. Truly, the beauty of society rests in the light that a woman brings into it. Yet there are moments when the same cleverness that makes her admirable can also become a double-edged sword. Her intelligence, intuition, and insight are powerful gifts from God, but if not guided by humility, they can quietly transform into arrogance. A clever woman uses her mind to build harmony, but when she begins to use that cleverness to manipulate emotions, control others, or prove superiority, she risks losing the grace that once made her beloved. What once was wisdom becomes snobbery, and what once drew affection begins to push love away. A truly wise woman understands that her cleverness must be anchored in sincerity, not in pride. She knows that the power of her words and actions can heal or hurt, bring peace or provoke conflict. When she uses her intelligence to uplift her husband, strengthen her children, and maintain peace in her family, she becomes the crown of her home. But when she uses that same intelligence to criticize, dominate, or belittle, she begins to erode the very foundation of trust and warmth that once held her household together. Sometimes, this transformation happens slowly and unnoticed. Her words become sharp. Her tone becomes cold. Her gestures lose their tenderness. She builds invisible walls around herself, walls made not of bricks but of pride, self-importance, and control. Her husband begins to feel unwelcome. Her children sense tension, and the home, once filled with laughter, becomes heavy with silence. Instead of partnership, distance grows. Instead of love, misunderstanding settles in. In her effort to prove that she is always right, she may lose what is truly precious: the peace of her home and the affection of her loved ones. And sometimes, when this cleverness hardens into pride, it becomes a form of emotional snobbery that isolates her completely. She may appear strong to the world, but within, she feels an emptiness, a quiet void that comes from losing the warmth of connection. A woman's cleverness should never make her unreachable. True intelligence lies not in winning arguments, but in preserving love. It lies not in proving one's dominance, but in nurturing understanding. A wise woman knows that her dignity shines brightest when she uses her intelligence to bring unity, not division. When she helps her husband feel respected, her children feel loved, and her family feel guided by her gentle wisdom. The Holy Quran reminds us that, indeed, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Surah Al-Hujurat 49:13. This means that honor is not in cleverness alone, but in righteousness and humility. When a woman's intellect is guided by faith, it becomes light. But when it is guided by pride, it becomes darkness. Throughout history, the most respected women were not those who sought power or superiority, but those who combined intelligence with compassion and modesty. Their grace came not from dominance, but from devotion. Their cleverness did not humiliate others. It elevated everyone around them. Their presence was a blessing because they knew when to speak and when to remain silent, when to lead and when to support, when to advise and when to listen. Such a woman becomes a pillar of peace, admired by her husband, trusted by her children, and respected by her community. Her cleverness, instead of being a weapon, becomes a tool for building harmony. Her smile becomes a source of comfort, her patience a lesson in strength, and her humility a reflection of divine beauty. However, when cleverness turns into snobbery, a woman distances herself from her true purpose. The desire to appear superior may earn her temporary admiration, but it will never bring her lasting peace. People may fear her but will not love her. They may obey her but will not confide in her. The true power of a woman is not in control but in influence, not in pride but in presence. Let her remember that her cleverness is a sacred gift, meant to solve problems, nurture love, and guide her family through challenges. When expressed with kindness, it adds depth to her beauty. But when mixed with arrogance, it erodes her respect. The charm that once made her the center of warmth may fade into cold distance. Her words may become sharp, her tone commanding, and her husband's heart may grow weary, longing for the softness that once held it close. The downfall of many relationships begins not in open conflict, but in the quiet arrogance that replaces humility. When both partners try to rule instead of understanding one another, love fades. But when a woman's cleverness is wrapped in gentleness, she becomes a source of strength for her husband, a reflection of patience, wisdom, and peace. She uplifts him rather than challenges him. She inspires him rather than corrects him harshly. And so, society admires her not for her outward charm alone, but for the grace with which she balances her gifts. Her beauty lies in her composure, her strength in her understanding, and her cleverness in her humility. The greatest women in history were those whose wisdom healed, whose words calmed, and whose presence gave strength. Therefore, let every woman remember, cleverness is a gift, but humility is the crown that completes it. A proud woman may gain attention, but a humble woman wins hearts. A snobbish woman may gain dominance, but a graceful woman earns lasting respect. The true greatness of a woman lies not in how much she controls, but in how beautifully she cares, indeed. The beauty of a male-dominated society is only because of the entity of a woman who makes herself most respectable by virtue of her God-gifted abilities to give birth, to raise children with love and care, and to build a noble and progressive family with enduring values. Her cleverness, when guided by humility and fear of God, becomes a light that beautifies her home and inspires generations to come.